I mean, how does he even find her attractive? She looks like she's 7 or something. Real quick, what's the age of consent in Japan again? Speaking of which, doesn't he remind you of another overpowered protagonist that also had a problem with groping underage girls? Okay, so I'm being 100% honest when I say this, but the original script for this video was about why the new Mushoku Tensei season is disappointing. And one of the main reasons why I was making that video is because the writers thought it was a good idea to have Rudeus get erectile dysfunction. And the reason it upsetted me was because I thought the only people who could relate to it were 50-year-old men. But when I sat down and thought about it, I suddenly realized that Rudeus is a 50-year-old man. Don't believe me? Well, let's do the math. If Rudeus was 34 years old when he first came to the isekai world, and as of the newest season, he's 16 years old in his new body, that means he's 50 years old. And I want it to be known, the fact that Rudeus started off as a baby with the knowledge of a 34-year-old man does not make it any better. Like, there is no planet where someone who has 50 years of experience should be trying to make teenage girls fall in love with him. That don't work. And while it'd be kinda weird, couldn't they just have made him be into older women? Wouldn't that make so much more sense? And don't even try to bring up Roxy, because even though she's technically an older woman, you still can't deny the fact that she definitely looks like a teenage girl. But despite the fact that the amazing story and crazy ass plot twists were able to distract me from all of Rudy's pedophilic acts, I'm gonna put on my Chris Hansen suit and get on his ass in order to find out if Rudeus really is the EDP 445 of the anime world. Now, in the beginning of the show, we're told that even though he finds his mother attractive, he can't get turned on by her.
Didn't turn me on though. Maybe because she's my mom?
Which, I mean, good to know, I guess. And even though he has a girl childhood best friend in Sylphie, it felt kinda innocent, and they were both technically the same age, so it made sense that they'd play together. But after Rudy makes a habit of stealing and sniffing his maid's panties, he leaves for work and meets Eris. And this is where shit starts to get into Chris Hansen territory. See, throughout the show, and you'll see that Rudy makes a habit of this, but every time he gets an opportunity to inappropriately touch a child's breast without their consent, he takes it. And although he eventually stops because of a magic ring that Ghislaine gave Eris, just wait till you hear what the magic ring's power actually does.
This ring is a talisman passed down by my people. The story goes, as long as you wear it, wolves won't attack you at night.
And I could talk about the time that Eris allows him to touch her and he takes the opportunity to try and have intercourse, but I'd rather talk about the time where he actually has intercourse and loses his virginity to a 15-year-old girl. Real quick, what's the age of consent in Japan again? Excuse me, sir, but what the fuck? As a 50-year-old, how is this not the weirdest thing you could possibly be doing right now? Oh yeah, and in case you're wondering, I didn't forget about the time in the newest season where he gets Sarah, who's also 15 years old, nice and drunk before taking her back to her room where he tries having sex with her too. But thanks God, the writers choose that exact time to make him have erectile dysfunction. That being said, I don't think I can really bring up anything worse than that. So we're gonna move on to another part of the show that displays Rudeus' pedophilia, and I'm talking, of course, about the university arc. So at the university, unfortunately, we get introduced to another pair of teenage girls who's named Linnea and Persina, and after we find out that they destroyed Rudy's Roxy statue that he gave to Zanaba, Rudy and Zanaba press Linnea and Persina for some good old-fashioned payback. But Rudy takes it a little bit too far when he makes a straight-up racist comment.
にゃーにゃーうるさいんだよ。従属はそんな下手くそな人間語しか喋れないのか?
And then beats them both up in like a 30-second battle. But more importantly, after the battle, he kidnaps them and brings them to his room before he starts groping them without their consent in order to find out if his wee-wee can get hard. Like, I'm sorry, but where's the police? Why are they okay with this? Oh, never mind. Rudy and Fitz forced him to be okay with it. Oh yeah, and in case you forgot, he's 50 years old! Speaking of which, doesn't he remind you of another overpowered protagonist that also had a problem with groping underage girls? But anyways, to sum up this video, even though I find the romance aspect of this anime to be super weird, that doesn't mean I can't acknowledge how great the story of Mushoku Tensei is and the amazing plot twists that pop out of nowhere and almost always manage to surprise me. However, I can't be the only person that thinks Rudeus is a super creep weirdo. I mean, how does he even find her attractive? She looks like she's 7 or something. That being said, let me know what you thought about this video in the comments, and if you're kinda bored and really got nothing better to do, you can always check out my other videos if you want to. Fuck you, man. I need water, but I can't afford it. The writers who, I bit my tongue. Oh, I'm kidding. It didn't hurt. I'm starting, shit.